Alright. What's up, everybody, and welcome back. We've got Basilisk SERRAL in the top left side of the map. It's the Masters Coliseum, and he's going to be playing against ASTREA in the bottom right side of the map. It's going to be a fun one here because ASTREA has grinded a whole bunch of the PTR. Then he took a little bit of time off. He was traveling for like Thanksgiving and then all sorts of stuff. But with Home Story Cup, a bunch of the different players were kind of traveling there and back. ASTREA's back on the grind. He was not at Home Story Cup, and he is ready to fight. Looks like Serral's going to go for a 15 hatchery over here. So it's Overlord 15 hatchery. That's it. That's the 15 Overlord build. Cool to see SERRAL has started to make this standard. Now, for those who don't know, if he saw a probe coming with this Overlord, he wouldn't have built the 16th drone. So he actually goes 16 hatchery. It's the normal build. He's still going to go 18 gas, 17 pool afterwards. But he gets those earlier drones out faster. Rather than pausing to build the 13 Overlord, he gets out the 14th drone, the 15th drone, then builds the Overlord. And whilst there's a delay on the 16th drone, a significant one, he's got those other two drones mining so much faster that he does get a net positive in minerals. And you can see it here in that spawning pool goes down a minute 13, gas there even before that. Despite the minerals on Abyssal not being very efficient, his spawning pool is down before a minute 14. And I believe a minute 13, a minute 14 is when the spawning pool normally goes down on a more efficient mining map. So just a little detail there, but interesting to see. Now, ASTREA has gone 19 Nexus, 19 Core. If you're doing a no scout build with Protoss, that's a really nice way to do it because you don't really have a lot of spaces to mine from. This allows you to still chrono adepts across the map nice and early, and you don't really give up much mining. He just had a third worker missing from gas for a few seconds, and that was it. Now, ASTREA's been fantastic lately, very creative, very good understanding of how to utilize things like the mothership very well. SERRAL, I'm curious to see how he adapts to ZvP in the new patch, because he is, historically just one of the greatest at stomping people, right? So good at just taking them out. But we know that he recently dropped a few maps to Clem in ZvP, had some issues with Blink Stalkers, Tempests, and Motherships. I wonder if ASTREA plays a similar style. We've seen Skillus throwing that style out in some of his matches as well. But ASTREA, I don't know if that style really suits him, that kind of just, I'm just going to micro and kite backwards with Mothership and Stalkers and Tempests. I feel like ASTREA's more likely to be a little bit more inclined towards going towards that earlier Storm. All right, guys, we've got a third hatchery going down. Pretty standard timing. Still no one on gas. Normally it's this first lava inject. When it pops, those three drones will go into the gas. Oh, tries to get the creep tumor, not quite able to get it. ASTREA has to back away there. Overlord for SERRAL, willing to take a sacrifice risk, but oh, it's a blink. It's a blink opening, guys. ASTREA's doing an all-in. This is a 2-base blink all-in. He's going to do this because there's a ledge here. He wants to push into this angle and keep blinking back, abusing this choke point. His whole plan right now is a 2-base blink all-in. Normally you do this off 5 gateways. The question is, can he sneak a probe across in order to get a proxy gateway up? Yes, he can. This is one of my oldest favorite all-ins. This is actually crazy. I remember anytime I've been given a challenge, like I have such good memories of this, to play without a minimap. I've played where I've covered up my minimap with like a piece of paper on my monitor. And this is the sort of all-in that I always go for, because blink all-in, you're just going to force your opponent to fight in one area, and you're just going to blink micro on the screen for minutes on end. He's already up to 1, 2, 3. That's going to be a 4th gateway there. Do we build a 5th, or is he just doing this off 4 gates? Now, knowing ASTREA, he's the sort of cat who might actually not all in. He might just do this as a crazy heavy pressure, pin SERRAL on a low worker count, and take a 3rd behind it. But that transition will be very dangerous. Pylon goes down there. He's still not walled off the left side. SERRAL making lings and a Bane Nest. He thinks he's going to be Glaive Adepts. He's like, okay, it's Glaive Adepts. It's got to be that. What else could it be? He's scouting, though. He's scouting. He's going to find it. He's going to find it. That's big. That's a huge scout because that pylon is very exposed. SERRAL sees it. Will the lings try to depower it? Yes, it will. You can see the lings are all coming from every side. Stray's quickly going to build another pylon there, and he's going to start heading in that direction. Every single Stalker except this one moving up to the north, but I don't think he's going to be able to get it up, and this is a big problem for ASTREA. If that pylon goes down, Stalkers are there, though. Stalkers starting to take care of the Zerglings, and actually, he does get here in time. Blinks after those links. You got to be careful with blink. Anytime you get surrounded, you're going to be in the doo-doo. This natural is not walled off. Oh, ASTREA, put your pants up. Pull your pants up. Pull your pants up, mate. Pull your pants up. Oh, God, this is a dumb way to lose a game. But no, the lings backed away from the counterattack. It may actually be okay. Stalker's poking over to the left side right now, trying to threaten the Queens and the Zerglings. Mass Queen Zerglings should counter Stalkers, but we'll see how it goes. Astrea's actually up 5 workers right now. SERRAL, a master of overbuilding army to shut down tricky builds like this. The terrain is something ASTREA wanted to use to his advantage, trying to blink over here, but that's just too many Zerglings. I think he's done for. I think SERRAL, with his trademark good scouting and massive commitment to units. SERRAL, not a player, even though we think of him as a greedy player, to play super defensive. He likes to mass units and shut down his opponent's aggression, and that's exactly what he's doing here. Whenever the Stalkers poke out, they get surrounded before Blink's ready, and there just aren't enough numbers. Stalkers overkilling very badly versus the Zerglings. You can see whenever the Zerglings actually get the surface area, the Stalkers go down. 2-to-1 trading in favor of SERRAL. He can afford to be down in this resources. No worries. Those Stalkers find a nice little corner. Very cute micro here for ASTREA. I like the way he's using the positioning, but man, he's already taken so many losses. He's down at half the army supply. Lings are basically free units. Remember, Stalkers, you need to kill 7 Zerglings per Stalker to trade evenly. 7 Zerglings per Stalker to trade evenly. That's a stat which I always repeat. Some of you might be sick of me saying it, but it really stands, it demands repeating because it's such a crazy stat when you think about it. Now, SERRAL is still not droning. He is treating this with the utmost respect. He's like, nah, that's fine. We're not gonna screw around here. I'm gonna deny the third with these Lings. If you don't have a third and I have a third, I'm ahead because as our mains mine out, I've got more mining capability and more production. The Ravagers and Lings trying to hold that choke point. Lings gonna take out a probe and a pylon over at the third base attempt. Biles come down. ASTREA dodges at the last second. Biles on this ramp are going to be really good. As long as you space those out, it's very hard for ASTREA to really force the sorts of constant trades he wants, but he goes up, gets a Ravager snipe. Really cute micro for ASTREA. And a Ling Ravager Queen going to struggle to get down this ramp. I think for SERRAL, you really need to move down this ramp. Bad Ravager morph. He actually walls himself off. Not so big a fan of the way he's engaging this one. The Lings get good damage on the Stalkers, but are they going to be able to finish any of them? Yes, they are. Yes, they are. Never mind. Lings are getting a lot of kills, but SERRAL's army starting to run out of steam a little. One of the Ravagers goes down. The Stalker count just so low, though. These Stalkers getting hammered. ASTREA in the units lost up, down 1,400. And SERRAL has even squeezed a few workers in, so he's actually even on workers. ASTREA has to GG in map 1. Alright guys, ASTREA just getting caught out there by the mass lane. This is the thing you gotta realize, guys. When you go for aggressive strategies versus SERRAL, you can always build an economic advantage. Oh, is he gonna do the extractor trick again? Ah, yes he is. Okay, yeah, so he's doing the 15 Overlord build, guys. So you go drone, drone, extractor trick, drone. Then you build an Overlord on 100 minerals. And then he's got this Overlord. He's not going to scout for the probe coming in with the Overlord. So he should send the drone down ahead of time. No, he's not going to send the drone down until about now. He'll pull this guy off. Or that guy. There we go. Okay, so he goes down there. And if he doesn't see a probe coming in or blocking, he'll build one more drone. So he builds one more drone. And now he goes for the hatchery on 16. Whereas if he sees a probe coming, he might quickly try to throw the hatchery down on 15. And it's very hard to block that from going down for ASTREA. Now, as I said, for ASTREA doing something like that Blink build, you got to realize that there's other players like Raynor who just won't scout, Raynor or Dark, and you need to hit them as hard as possible, as fast as possible, and kill them. Because they'll try to make like 60 workers versus that build, whereas SERRAL stopped on 38, right? But against SERRAL, you don't have the same urgency. Assuming he's scouted what's happening, which he almost always has, he's going to build an extra amount of army. And it's all about finding efficiency, which is difficult. But yeah, I think ASTREA just felt a little bit too much urgency to push. And I mean, it's hard because you don't have any scouting, right? Except for your Stalkers. You don't have an Observer. You don't have a Hallucinated Phoenix or an Oracle. But, it's so often... I remember watching the last time Harston played SERRAL in a big tournament. And I felt like Harston was like getting SERRAL behind on workers significantly every game. But then, because against any other Zerg, you would need to pressure at this moment to like make sure the Zerg's not being greedy. The Protoss players always kind of give SERRAL the fight that he needs, where they kind of move forward and they find a SERRAL with like just such a big army, and he's like, oh, I probably couldn't break you at your base, or I would struggle to. It'd be close at least, but if you're going to move out and come to me, I will stomp your army and it'll just be game over suddenly. And that's where, SERRAL gets... He's very different to other Zergs, and he always has been. This is, of course, from the Masters Coliseum 8 group stage, for those who don't know. I'm not sure if I actually mentioned that at the start of the cast. This is going to be a tournament played over a full month. I think it started about a week ago, was the first group stage. 4 groups spread out over many weeks into a massive playoff bracket for, I believe, $15,000 prize pool, hosted by the lovely the lovely Chinese SC boy crew. It is going to be finishing, I think, about January 23rd or something like that. So it's going to be kind of giving us a lot of content over the next month or so. Big shout out to those guys for organizing it and getting everything going. More standard Stargate build for ASTREA. Notice only one chrono on the Adept. He's not going to bother with the double chrono. Even though Ley Lines is one of the better maps, I would say, normally, to go for the double Adept. Adept shades in. Couple of Zerglings hide. Notice Serral was trying to trick him into letting the shade finish. Because Serral was like, if you finish that shade, I'll bring 2 Lings in from behind, do Spore Tricks to save any drones you try to kill. He was specifically trying to bait the overcommitment from ASTREA. But ASTREA is just playing carefully, not overcommitting. Goes to the Oracle, goes for that second pylon. Now, what's interesting is ASTREA here is not trying to do the SERRAL thing. The Clem thing. You guys remember Clem's anti-SERRAL build involves a 3-minute 20 third base. This is still a very quick third base, don't get me wrong, but it's after second Oracle. It's after second gate. It's after this pylon, which gets you to 54 supply. And that's a big difference maker. Now, ASTREA fills up energy before moving out with his first Oracle, starts his third Nexus, gets a pylon there, very nicely placed, where the Adept can, of course, wall off there as well. Spore Crawler in the main will be ready on time. Third base is up as well. I like the creep spread here, which is one of the biggest boons for SERRAL so far. And the Oracle's going to go for the double tumor snipe. Does get it. Doesn't take any damage. Only 3 damage on the hull. But the Queens will quickly respread creep, no doubt. Twilight Council comes down behind. It's a pretty quick Twilight Council. It doesn't have to be for Glaive Adepts, but it definitely looks like a 4-gate Glaives if you ask me. 2 Oracles into 4-gate Glaives. It's a good build. Interestingly, SERRAL has not started a Evo Chamber or Roach Warren yet, which means just going to be looking at droning, powering out Queens, all that good stuff. He's only on 5 Queens so far, as the Oracle in this energy war with those Queens. You can see this creep tumor he wants to spread across, but because that creep got stopped on the right side, it's not able to connect. It is Blink. It's a fast Blink pressure for ASTREA. Obviously, you can use fast Blink for safety as well. The earlier you have that upgrade, the more it does help. Overlord does go down on the other side. 3 drones, getting rid of creep. Oracle's mostly untouched. This is actually a fantastic start for ASTREA. Lair coming up. Okay. Now, I wonder how they do it, because ASTREA's in America right now. Do they play US East one game and then Europe one game? Like, do they? I wonder how they organize the servers in these matches. Something I'll have to investigate afterwards. Obviously, US East would be favored for ASTREA. He'd probably be playing with, like, I don't know, 70, 80 ping, something like that, since he's over on the west coast of US. SERRAL would probably play from Finland with the low hundreds, I would imagine. I guess about 110, 120 ping to there, maybe 130. Stalker's coming forward, taking out a few creep tumors. It's already on the front. This is such an early Stalker poke, but SERRAL quickly coming in behind. And Oracles will protect it. Not able to get this around. That Stalker was lubed up before this. Damn, dude. 3 more Stalkers warping in. There is a Forge up now, so he can go for plus upgrades as well. He's got a battery on the third, and he is taking gases. So he's on the front is ASTREA. But you can tell he's not going to commit that hard. He just needs to remember to start +1. There we go. Chronos it. Slight supply block for him, but only a small one. And he's just kind of hanging out at the front. Equal workers, or at least similar, as SERRAL secures his 4th down below. Roach speed on the way, +1 range comes in. No, he cancels +1 range and makes melee, and an infestation pit is coming down already. SERRAL willing to go to that hive tech, and it looks like he's going to play Ravagerling Bane. Not as good a long-term style as some others, but it is safer than some. Now, I'm actually a big believer in +1 range upgrades, with a lot of styles being very important these days, but since he's not playing Hydras, he's playing Roaches, I do think melee is the more important upgrade. 3 more gateways go down. That's going to be 7 gates, 8 gateways, and a Templar Archives. I like the semi-wall on the third. Robo for ASTREA as well. Now, this 4th base in the middle is quite easy to defend on your push path, which is why he might take that. Normally, I'd prefer this northern base, but since he's walling this top side, it tells us ASTREA is going to focus his efforts on this south, and either this base or this base here in the middle are going to be the natural expansion locations for him. 6:45 Hive starts. Hydroden goes down. That's right, guys. Ravagerling Bane potentially, but we're going to be going into Lurkers, no doubt, at Hive Tech for SERRAL. SERRAL squeezing drones out for his 4th base. He's just now taking his 6th gas on his 3rd, and we expect 2 gases on his 4th in the near future. Stalkers and Oracles desperately fighting to close down the control of the map here. And actually, ASTREA does go for the northern base. That's interesting. I guess this wall off still helps if you get in some trouble, but it is one of those little things where I just thought he was going to kind of entrench this side and expand south, but no, he does go for the more standard 4th base, and it does make a lot of sense to do that. And no spoilers if you guys are checking this out in the chat. And, yeah. Chat saying, is the US East server back up? Well, US East is actually the same as the central server right now, as far as I'm aware. Blizzard have been cheaping out on their server costs in any way possible. Part of their small indie company just trying to cut costs. You guys know how it is. They don't have unlimited budget. I mean, you got to pay those $60 billion CEO bonuses and parachutes for guys like Kotick when they get out of there. So it's a hard world, and I think gamers should just be a bit more understanding. Guys, stop complaining in Twitch chat. Can you guys just, do you not have phones? Can you guys just be happy for once? Like, you get gifted these things. It's not like you pay for them or anything. Oh, you did? You guys did all pay. Oh, okay, sorry. 8 gates there, 9th and 10th, second Forge coming in. Stalker Storm, not usually a game-ending push, but right now you've got nothing but Zerglings and a few Roaches and Hydras. Second Evo, Spines, a lot of upgrades, but where's the actual army for SERRAL, guys? Oh, look at that. He's going to get caught out in the top left as well. +1 Zealots, cancelling the 5th base. 4th base. Dude, where's his army? He's got a few Zerglings. His army is pure Zerglings. SERRAL took his gases way too late on this base. He's making so many different upgrades. Roach upgrades, Overlord drops, Melee, Adrenal Glands, Lurker upgrades, Hydra upgrades. But he's not actually got an army. He's got a handful of Roaches, a handful of Hydras, and mass Zergling. SERRAL, I think right now, ASTREA might be able to just kill him. SERRAL's so greedy with his army, man. Mass Zergling against a guy who's got a lot of Zealots and Storm. This is not good, guys. This is like trying to counter tanks in World War I with a cavalry charge. I get it. You guys are born to royalty. You like charging with your sabers out. Guess what? That's a tank. It's not going to work. That's Zerglings into Storm and Zealots. It is. Luckily now, we do have a bit of a rounding out of the armies as the Lurkers are coming in. Melee. +2, +1 range, Spire for SERRAL. He's preparing for late game as he secures the 5th in the top left. Meanwhile, ASTREA is going Fleet Beacon, Immortals, Air Weapons, and Shields. Now, I've been crapping on and harping on about how bad these bases are, these purple gases, for a while. I think ASTREA and SERRAL might be the first 2 pro gamers I've seen who've realized how bad those purple gas bases are and haven't taken them. Not only are they vulnerable, but they also give you less minerals and less overall gas than a normal base does. It's good to see these 2 players really realizing how bad that position is. And man, he's just baited out like 4 Storms for 10 Zerglings. Very nice play for SERRAL. Obviously, it's not like he's killing much. He's lost 60 Zerglings for only 9 Zealots this game. He's down in the units lost tab, but as long as he hangs on and is confident in his late game, he can do very well. Only a single Robo for ASTREA. Yes, he's building his Immortal count, but he's got to be careful because it's going to be hard the longer things go. Warp Prism on a patrol path. The reason you do this is notice on SERRAL's minimap, there's a red dot now just running back and forwards in the bottom. So we're on SERRAL's camera. Normally as a player, visual pattern recognition, if you see that dot move, you know he's microing into your main, he's about to warp in, that's when you move to respond. But because it's on patrol, you don't have that movement pattern recognition. There's always that little red dot moving in the corner of your vision. Lurker's getting stormed, but there's no detection, so he can't quite finish off the Lurkers, unless he quad storms, and one more storm will finish him off. One more storm finishes off all 4 Lurkers. Beautiful move for ASTREA. Zealot High Templar defending in the north. And bit of a mistake there for SERRAL. He does have both Lurker upgrades, +2 range coming in now, as well as +2 melee. No carapace upgrades for him, which will hurt in Zergling versus Zealot fights. But other than that, it doesn't matter too much against things like Storm. It doesn't matter at all. Immortals or or Tempests. The thing is, it will matter against carriers with Hydras. But we're already going Corruptors, so it doesn't really matter too much there either. Tectonic Destabilizers, that's a +40 damage versus structures for the Tempest upgrade coming in. And I like the way ASTREA, has maintained control over the middle of the map. Like, he's really denied creep spread very well. It feels like he's kind of got SERRAL in his corner, and while SERRAL's allowed to go to late game, he's not doing it with any sort of measurable control over the game, and just rotating around, picking off units where he can. High Templar moving in, dropping some Storms. The Immortals getting a good position. Taking out the gases is actually very nice. He's not going to overcommit though. We'll just back away. Mum is on the way right now along with Tempests. Already 3 Tempests are out. Air weapons +1, +1 plasma shields. We've got +3 ground attack, +2 plasma shields. Also, +2 air weapons all starting. Stasis traps setting off the Zerglings in the middle of the map. The Oracles have just been non-stop with placing those stasis traps. And that's another cancel on a hatchery. ASTREA's value already 4,000 resources in the lead and continuing to grow. Oh, Contaminate for SERRAL on the +2. Delays that by a good 30 seconds. Tempest will take out the Overseer though. Stalkers, a couple of those bleed out. You might think that's bad. Well, it's not directly cost efficient, but does it really need to be? High Templar, looks like they misclicked in. Maybe we're meant to join the army and went the wrong way around. They do clear up at least a lot of Zerglings before they go down. The Roaches cleaning up those High Templar. So we're trying to take his 6th and 7th bases here in the middle of the map. The 2 purple gas bases, remember, only a single gas, 2,250 gas, only 6 full minerals. This patch is only 150 minerals. Its main job, of course, is to delay you being able to mine that purple gas. Air armor coming in for SERRAL, as well as +3 range and +3 melee on the Evo chambers. We've got +3 attack, +2 plasma shields close to done. The upgrades are just getting so well rounded, but where's Mama and where's Tempest is my question. We got Zealot High Templar in the north. Stalker's blinked to the high ground. I think he's happy to lose these. He just wants to bait SERRAL into a bad fight. Blinks him back to the low ground temporarily. ASTREA does have a cannon providing vision. His observer's a little far back right now as he takes out a lurker. Nidus Worm on the right side. SERRAL's going to try and counterattack. Mama's in the way though. Mama can deal with that. If Mama comes forward on that top side, she can defend that base. Stasis traps freezing lurkers, making it hard for SERRAL to get purchase on this map. Zealot High Templar hiding in the top left corner, but Spine Crawler lurker everywhere. SERRAL making this very hard for ASTREA to engage. First Nidus Worm pops on the bottom right side of the map. Nothing loaded in there. He's just using these to reposition. SERRAL not forcing the Niduses is a big surprise. This is a difference, right? When Rogue does a Nidus, it's in your backdoor while he's distracting you, looking for that knockout. When SERRAL does a Nidus, it's very rarely a trick. It's a, this is for me repositioning. This is for me moving army around, moving workers around. He's one of the few players in the world who does this regularly, using Nidus to reposition. Something people theory crafted about for many years, but due to the intense pace of StarCraft 2, players normally don't do, because it's just so APM intensive to load into a Nidus, reposition here, load into another Nidus, reposition there. And in fact, to do this most effectively, you usually need 2 or 3 Niduses next to each other to actually load and unload fast enough to very quickly do this sort of repositioning. Zealots clean up that Nidus. High Templar comes in with the Zealots, and the Zerglings will get the takeout on that. +3 melee and Adrenal are going to be finishing up just now. Carapace starting up behind it. SERRAL, of course, always paying attention to those upgrades, but the Tempests trying to get their bully on. 3,000 resources lost. 3,800, I should say, between the two players. North side, ASTREA pulls back. Does cancel or denies this middle hatchery. Corruptors getting caught. They take a lot of damage. One of them goes down. So what's the answer for SERRAL? 8 Corruptors. He's going to get 11 more. 19 Corruptors to deal with 7 Tempests. Easy. Problem is, those Archons and High Templar are on the ground. The trick is, if you can get him out of position, ASTREA that is, with the Lurkers, catch him out, get rid of the High Templar, suddenly you can overwhelm the ground. There is a chance for an Ultra swap a lot of the time, because there's only a few Immortals. Ultra's very good for clearing High Templar, but he's doing the Lurker Dive. The Lurker Dive, he does take some big storms, but if he can get rid of all the High Templar, it'll be good. There's still more storms left, though. With the Archons there, I don't think he really got any value. His army heavily damaged, and honestly, it's time to run away and let those Corruptors heal. He got 1 Tempest there, 10 Corruptors went down, a bunch of Lurkers went down. Great defense for ASTREA. ASTREA, this is how you play late game PV. ZPVT, it's all about making your opponent attack into your storms and doing a sort of fighting retreat. Protoss, the idea of any sort of Tempest Storm-based army is poke at your opponent with a Tempest. They're not a very high damage unit, but they're very long range. And then fall back and just pull back, shoot, do a classic sort of, you know, shoot and move as you retreat, a fighting retreat as we call it. And punish your opponent, because as they chase you, they're going to be walking into trap after trap of Storms, Archons, and those Tempests always naturally a very good kiting unit. In general, Lurker and Spine doing some damage, going to take out a few High Templar potentially, but the Archons take out the hatchery, most of them surviving, and they are going to take out another hatchery down here as well. SERRAL without the ability to fight these armies. And you know, it's interesting, guys, because we've talked a little bit about Zerg versus Protoss with the patches over the last year or so, and how the matchup really should be moving from all the changes we've seen in favor of Protoss in the late game. And one of the big equalizers should be Zerg's ability to do timing attacks. The last time SERRAL relied in a large way on timing attacks in his ZvP was probably the last time he played Raynor in ZvP in a tournament, which was a long time ago. SERRAL just doesn't lean into timing attacks very much, right? Most Zergs are like, ZvP is all about catching the Protoss off with a big mid-game all-in. SERRAL's never really played that style. It's never been his specialty. If ASTREA can do this and just slowly zone him out, I mean, look at his bank. Just wear him down. Don't make any big mistakes in the late game. And then aim for this again in a game 3, if you can get there. And this is the scenario where technically SERRAL's style is meant to be weaker. But hold on. Oh my god, Corruptor's coming out. Good Storms coming in. Fungal catches the High Templar. Broodlords will take them out. The Corruptors, though, massive Archon hits on the Corruptors. and these fights just aren't that effective. Every time he retreats as well, the Tempests do a really good job of picking off those units. Revelations don't quite land there. The army had pulled back a bit further than he expected. Lings on their outside, a couple of Stormy boys, a couple of Immortals and an Archon there hanging out. Now, Mothership did die earlier, but I think I missed that on camera, right? Sorry, I really got to pay attention to the screen a bit more. So much going on in these. It's always good to explain context and unit tab and all that sort of stuff, but right now, gonna have to focus on the moves because SERRAL's looking for that one perfect engagement, and ASTREA's just not giving him that chance. 12,000 resource loss difference. I mean, the problem with Lurker Corruptor has always been the immobility. And I've seen a lot of Zergs like SERRAL win with this comp in late game, but how do you ever force a fight? How do you ever catch the Protoss out of position and punish them has always been the question. To me, it's always felt like if you end up on Lurker, Lurker Corruptor, you're basically waiting for Protoss to crap the bed. You're saying, could you please make a dumb mistake, right? And SERRAL's been the rare Zerg who so consistently wins at this scenario. Adds a few Broodlords to help snipe the High Templar, snipes the Observers, respreads his creep, knuckles down. I mean, we saw a hero on Site Delta at EWC, the World Championship, get impatient and chase into Lurkers, into Corruptors, into Fungals, into Parasitic Bombs multiple times. And it was that same sort of fighting retreat that ASTREA's doing that SERRAL was able to do to take down Hero. Dude, these Tempests can like 3-shot this hatchery if they decide to click on it. Feedbacks! Oh my god! SERRAL goes too deep, takes 3 feedbacks, but he lands some Fungals on those High Templar. All the High Templar are gone. You need to run ASTREA, get out of that. You need more High Templar, and you need them now. He warps in 4 more High Templar. I'm not sure where he warped those in. Looks like right there. Fills one up with energy, gets them back to the main army. On the left side, he's still got this little roaming squad. 2 Immortals in Archon, 3 Zealots, and 2 High Templar. SERRAL got outplayed. He let a Protoss build air units GG. I mean, we've seen about 8 years of SERRAL never losing versus the Protoss, no matter how many air units they build. So that's definitely a new development, guys. There's a new development. Tempests, of course, now down to 4 supply from 5 in the last patch. Does help out that maxed army as well. SERRAL is a late game god in this matchup, but struggling right now as ASTREA is just not giving him those mistakes that he's used to experiencing. He's so used to the Protoss players, number one, letting him spread creep. And I think this is the biggest thing we need to focus on, because remember from start of this match, there's been no creep spread. He keeps trying to respread it, and it just won't be allowed out. If he gets creep out, if he gets some more forward vision, some more forward positions, he can actually engineer some stuff. But remember, it's a vision battle, and look at the vision for SERRAL. Trying to get changelings in, hasn't been able to get them in. He's got just like, okay, he's having to do Lurkinitis in the corner. Now let's look at ASTREA's vision, and you can say, well, it's not that much better, it doesn't feel like, but you got to realize how far forward this army is in the north, how far forward this army is poking. He's just controlling the map, and he's so mobile, SERRAL can't get creep out, and often it's creep getting out that allows the infestors to run forward and land the Fungals, the Zerg to start abducting some of these, capital ships when he's not looking. But it's such a good vision battle with the Observers spotting, the Oracles revelating, and he's not letting SERRAL get close for those moves. And this is actually incredibly detail-oriented. It's easy to look at it and go, look, ASTREA's just winning because he made capital ships. Where are the carriers? Where are the units that just A-move? They're not here. He's got a 90% ground army with a pack of Tempests to force SERRAL to engage into him and to deny Broodlords and Lurkers from out of range. He's got just enough capital ships to pick at him, and he's got a sick ground army to deal with everything else. And ASTREA's doing this bloody well right now. SERRAL's bases just keep getting denied. Down 14,000 resources and units lost. Corruptors come forward, not able to get the catch though. It might be time to build some Vipers. I truly believe without the Viper abducts, it's going to be hard to bully ASTREA here. But Viper's a very skill-oriented unit. If you come from a surprising angle where he's not revelating, you can get a few of these abducts off. Parasitic Bomb or 2 in the middle of those Tempests can be good as well. Tempests have a total of 300 life, 200 hit points, 100 shields. Archon High Templar push, pretty cute. Thought he was going to storm there, doesn't quite go for it. Lings in the bottom right, denying the cannons and batteries. I don't think ASTREA minds losing some probes. He has 20,000 resources in the bank, and no doubt his bases are going to start running low. He warps in 12 Zealots, maybe too big of a warp, and he does have 18 gateways. I am a little worried that ASTREA might get a bit impatient here, start throwing mass Zealot DT into the meat grinder. Zealots are fine. It's if you start warping in Blink DTs en masse, that's where you get in really big trouble. Remember the bloody Scarlet ASTREA match. 4 years ago, 3 years ago, ASTREA miles ahead, and he threw away, I think it was 117 Dark Templar into Lurker Spore in one match. He's evolved a lot as a player since then. I think you can see he's got kind of a respect for the fact that he can't just click warp-ins into the base. He knows he's got to just pick from away. The Zealots do deny the southern base. I mean, SERRAL just can't get 1, 2, 3 bases. Even this bottom base has been denied so many times. Oh, is he just going to Revelate? Oh my god, the Zealots are just going to try and overwhelm the Lurkers. That could actually work out. Looks like there's enough Lings there. Don't underestimate 3-2 Adrenal Zerglings, guys. For those who don't know, you might think Zealots beat Zerglings, and the reason you think that is because as long as they have more attack upgrades than the Zerg has armor, which is the case, they two-shot the Zerglings, which is good. You got to realize that 3-3 Cracklings, he's forgotten +3 Carapace of SERRAL, but if he gets it, they destroy Zealots. Like, they absolutely murder them. It's only when the Zealots get in a really big pack, especially if they have like an Archon or two or some Psystorm, that's when they start to beat the Zerglings up. But in small numbers, the Zealots get surrounded, the Zerglings rip them down. Tempest Siege in the top left. This base is gone. It's kind of SERRAL's most important base right now. Zealots in the middle as well. Dude, he just can't defend. He's got 22 Corruptors, 9 Broodlords, 8 Infestors. This is the problem right now. SERRAL has been forced into a very immobile army to deal with this very fancy army of ASTREA. And SERRAL now realizes he's actually put himself in a corner because ASTREA says, well, you don't have the mobile force anymore. You know, all you got is 2 Lurkers and a few Zerglings. I can just start rallying Mass Zealot, and I've got the bank to do it as well. And he's coming in with Mass Zealot. He's even got a Mothership. He's ready to recall on that southern side. If he can deny that base, that could be big. Of course, ASTREA once again looking for the ledge snipe on that hatchery. Oh my god, Infestors in the open. 1, 2, 3, go down. Make it 4. 4 Infestors go down. That is a massive catch and a huge mistake for SERRAL. Zealots coming in on the south side right now, taking out a bunch of Zerglings. Mama ain't there. Mama's coming forward. She's going to recall. The entire army from the north is going to recall on this southern base. SERRAL abandons ship, as he should. He starts to run away. Loses both 2 hatcheries in the south yet again. And look at the units lost trading. 2-to-1 efficiency. ASTREA is not making any mistakes. And this might look grossly imbalanced if you guys don't understand what's going on in StarCraft. ASTREA is just not doing anything hard. He's just running around the map winning. You got to realize he's got to not make any mistakes, because normally every single time someone's beating SERRAL, they make mistakes. He leaves his Tempest hanging out, loses 1 or 2 of them, but the Fungals don't land. I think he only loses 1 or 2 Tempests there. He's lost 3 Tempests this game for 19 Corruptors, 2 Broodlords, 7 Infestors, and 18 Lurkers. Look how well he has babysat his Tempests. Only 3 Tempests dying in a 25-minute game. That is exceptional. Still doesn't have +3 ground armor, but he's got +3 air armor coming in and +3 shields. Looks like Zealots come in the south. You know, when you're using Fungal Lurker to defend Zealots, as efficient as it looks, it does feel a little desperate. That hatchery in the middle goes down yet again. Oh, okay. Tempest coming forward. Nice Fungals catching a few of these Archons, but the Broodlords can't quite catch up. Oh my god, the Storm and Archon actually hammer the Corruptors pretty hard there. A bunch of Corruptors go down. Yes, the Fungal Broodling takes out a few ground units, but even that last Archon does survive. SERRAL just taps out. Oh my god. Guys, he just surrendered at maxed out. Oh, mentally broken. Mentally broken. Could not find any way to do anything. ASTREA just beat him with Pacifist Protoss. It's not really Pacifist, but it's as close to Pacifist in a pro player as possible. ASTREA never committed to a frontal push. He just denied creep, and he slowly pushed SERRAL into a corner and said, you're not allowed to go here. No, this is mine. You can't go here. You can't go here. You can't. No. Bad. Bad Zerg. I just gave him no openings. Denied his worms, cannons, batteries, High Templar. He had his little roaming squads of Zealots. Earlier, it was like a Immortal High Templar. And the unit efficiency is off the chain. Now, obviously, SERRAL has no mining. He just can't find an opening. His army's so immobile. And it's so immobile trying to catch the correct fight. But then the Zealots are running in, denying his bases. What a devastating game that was. And you can just see the unit efficiency. So few tech units went down in this game. Look at the lack of opportunities SERRAL had. He killed 2 Immortals, 2 Archons, 3 Tempests, a couple of Stalkers, a couple of Zealots, I mean, obviously a lot of Zealots, 4 Oracles, 13 High Templar, 1 Mothership. That's such a low unit killed count for the tech units. And he was just getting ground to dust. 11 hatcheries killed. He cancelled at least 6 or 7 more. 8 Infestors, 18 Lurkers, 25 Corruptors. A devastating, slow, calm victory for ASTREA to tie up the series. All right, guys, ASTREA in the bottom left side. Looks like he's not scouting again. SERRAL's gone for that 15 Overlord once more. And, you know, it's so nice, so early, having 15 workers on minerals. Then you pull one off. And does SERRAL look to build 1 extra drone? Yes, he does. Doesn't see a probe. Builds the extra drone. And he's going to go for that hatchery, 275 minerals at 46 seconds. Beautiful build here. The hatchery goes down so early these days with that discount on it, combined with his 15 Overlord build is very nice. Nexus first! Oh, Astrea's bringing out one of his special builds. I love it. We're having a big discussion between game about balance and design and how to separate, you know, where balance ends and where a player just being next level skill exists, and how in a game like StarCraft it's impossible to separate because everyone's using different tools, right? You can only really compare players within an individual race, you could say, because then they're using the same tools like any other sport. But it's kind of interesting, you know, someone's saying, oh, the game gets destroyed for the average players with all the patches that come in. That you know, trying to nerf top pros and it doesn't really affect the top pros. Yeah, I'm not sure I fully agree with that. Like, don't get me wrong, sometimes we do nerf players who win too much. I think definitely that's, you know, nerf that race. But I do think it's one of those things where it's more the emotional struggle of your tools being slightly worse. And I think the big problem players have is they always want an excuse for losing. I know I do. And if you lose a game because you played bad, but also the units you're using are 3% worse or something like that, their, you know, hit points are this worse, or their movement speed got slightly hit, it's very easy to just be like, well, the reason I lost is because of that nerf, not because of my own thing. And that's the eternal battle in StarCraft, is you should never think about these things. Just for your own improvement, you should never be thinking about balance. And if you talk to the top pros, if you talk to SERRAL or MaxPax about balance, you can hear the frustration in their voice that they're even being asked about it. Because they're like, I don't want to think about it. I don't want to be constantly putting in my head, oh, maybe I'm losing because the game's not fair. They're like, there's a toxic mindset because they know there's always more they can do to play better, right? And this is why people say, well, you know, but I'm not a pro, so it's fine. I can blame balance all I want. I go, well, you can. I just think you're gonna rob yourself of the fun of the game if you do that, because I truly feel like games are very frustrating when you're always looking at, oh, this patch came in and changed this, and now that's why I'm losing. Oh, he's gonna block it. He's gonna block it. Nice. Will the probe escape? Good block. Good cybercore block there. Couldn't wall off with a 2x2 structure. He killed his own probe. He just attacked his own probe with that adept, guys. He denied SERRAL from getting the experience. Yes, guys, there is experience in StarCraft 2. It does allow you to... I don't even know what you get from the experience system. All pro players maxed it out about 8 years ago, but that is pretty hilarious. Obviously just a misclick for Australia there. I don't think it's too bad. He gets the Overlord with the hallucination. Adepts are coming forward. Oh my god, he attacked the rocks as well. Australia, don't get shaky, bro. I know you just played a very long game versus SERRAL, but you gotta stay calm. Third gateway proxy. Oh my god, he's gonna do 4-gate. He's 4-gating. It's 4-gate off 2 base. It's just going to be glaive adept pressure, I think. Oh my, but this third base got taken down the bottom, which means he's nowhere near as close to the base. He's going to take a third behind it as well. So it's 4-gate adept pressure, and he's also got a third nexus coming up. Hallucination sees everything. Does he see the Roach Warren? He sees it, but I don't think he was watching, so I don't think he gets to click on that as it dies almost instantly. Spore Crawler does go down in the main. SERRAL not sure of what's going down behind this. It's a later Spore Crawler. He knew that there was a proxy gate. It'd be very different that there's adepts warping in just outside of SERRAL's vision. This gateway is really nice. Very nice. Very, very good way to put on pressure and annoy SERRAL. And meanwhile, the probing is pretty non-stop here for ASTREA. He may need one more pylon before this Nexus finishes, especially with all those warp-ins coming in. But let's see how he does this. 4 adepts defending the third base. He's going to lose a probe there for just 1 or 2 Zerglings. Even trade. No tech for ASTREA, guys. No Twilight, no Forge. Adepts coming in the north side. That's 6 adepts on the north, 4 adepts on the south. He's probing up behind this. The Twilight Council does go down, but let's see what damage ASTREA can do. Evo Chamber wall off. Emergency triple Evo wall off. Delicious move there for SERRAL. ASTREA, though, coming in the south side. Drones have to abandon the third base. ASTREA needs to just back away and not lose the adepts. He's got to be careful. He's denying mining. He's forced a triple Evo wall, which is a massive expense for SERRAL. His drones just screwed up his wall off. Cancel the shade, though. The adepts split up. He has to cancel the shade anyway. This is costing SERRAL so much in Evo Chamber cost. He's got Roachling out now. He's realized they aren't Glaive Adepts. This is not as fearsome a push as he initially thought it was. These Adepts are going to back away. ASTREA needs to get into his next step. Right now, he's overcommitting, and he needs to back away. Remember what I said in Abyssal. You want to force pressure against SERRAL? or commit to some pressure. He will build a massive army, and then you want to back away and go to your next step. He's going Blink right now. We should see a Forge going down momentarily. Adepts are going to get surrounded in the north. They do get up against the wall, though. Oh, very nice micro, and he should cancel that Shade and then recall. Cancel Shade, recall maybe? Actually, no. He's able to blink away, or Shade away, I should say. And these Adepts in the south still being a nuisance as well. Double Evo Chamber goes down for SERRAL. Not sure if that's on purpose or not. Very rare for SERRAL to want to play double Evo, but I think he's just in a bit of panic right now. Adepts come in, and they are going to get dealt with. Roachling, easy cleanup there. And the Adepts do take out one drone only. Very good trade for SERRAL. 7 more drones for him. ASTREA's got a worker lead, but I think SERRAL's handled this just fine. I think you're fine to be behind in workers as long as that 4th hatchery doesn't get delayed any longer. Stalkers warping in. No Forge. No Forge is the problem right now for ASTREA, guys. He's got a great worker count, but his tech is miles behind, and this is the way Nexus First plays out. You end up sacrificing a bit of that tech momentum and doing it this way. And there is actually double upgrades, melee and range on the way. SERRAL trying to catch up in, or trying to gain himself an upgrade lead as the Forge only now goes down at 6.5 minutes. Only 6.5 minutes, man. Look at how many units are on the field. This is the wildness of a Nexus First build. He's able to just get so much stuff out. He's already on the front. 10 Roaches, 19 Zerglings for SERRAL. He's trying to make more Ravagers and Lings right now to defend. A single sentry could force field this choke point. He's trying to attack the hatchery. ASTREA forcing SERRAL to engage. He says, if you don't come forward, that hatchery's going to die, mate. Very good moves here for ASTREA. Force fields do go down. Traps the Zerglings temporarily. Sentry does fall. Just Stalkers with a few Adepts backing it up now. Infestation Pit on the way. 62 drones for SERRAL. ASTREA on 67. Robo Bay goes down as well as a second Robo. ASTREA wants to transition into Colossus. Potentially Disruptors, but most likely Colossus. I've talked to ASTREA a lot about Disruptors over the last year. I've said they're really good in this situation. He said they're bad. I've said they're really good in this situation. He said they're garbage. I've said, what about this situation? They're clearly the best unit. And he said, yeah, but they're a garbage unit. So even though they're good for that situation, they're too garbage. I don't want to invest in them because the moment we move past that situation, I'm left over with garbage. ASTREA thinks the Disruptor is garbage. All those conversations were before they got massively nerfed in this matchup, which means he's 100% going to go Colossus here. Stalkers trying to blink away. Great micro on the Stalkers. Only lost a couple of Stalkers. 2 Stalkers. Sentry. A few Adepts have gone down. Not too bad. He's still got the gateway up north. Love to see a few Adepts in there, shading into that northern base as time goes on. Charge +1. Second Robo Bay coming in. And a 4th Nexus on the front. ASTREA's got a forward pushing setup. And SERRAL only now able to drone up as the Colossus begin to power. Where is that second Robo, guys? Out on the 3rd base. So double Colossus chronoed. No extended thermal lats just yet, but he will be adding that. Stalker's coming forward as well. I'd laugh so hard if he goes Disruptors after that speech. Dude, if he went Disruptors, I would be like, really? Is this just the way it is? Every time I try to convince a pro gamer of something, they insist I'm wrong. And then a year later, they finally go, oh, you were right the whole time? I'm like, no! No, it would actually be bad now because they don't one-shot Roaches or Disruptors anymore. So they've massively lost power in this matchup. The single Zealot, ASTREA says, by the way, you know you left my proxy gate up. I just wanted to remind you of it with this move. SERRAL seems to not have noticed, though. Oh, easy snipe. Easy snipe. ASTREA there. He was just poking around, seeing if he could pick off a unit or two. Finds himself a hatchery. SERRAL going to regret making that mistake. And ASTREA's got to blink away. Loses 2 Stalkers. Make it 3. 3 Stalkers. Well worth it for a hatchery. Prism is ready in the north. 4 Zealots available. 2 Vipers coming in. +2 range. +2 melee adrenal glands. 3rd Colossus coming out. Extended thermal lance. And +2 attack. Remember, it's only single Forge for ASTREA. He's playing a timing attack base style. SERRAL has taken the gold base. This gold base is so vulnerable. Prism's going to drop the Zealots on the 4th while he attacks the south. Honestly, I think he should just go. I know he's waiting for a Warp Prism to kind of pair up at the same time, but look, he's got Zealots in the north. The Prism can drop the main potentially. The Queens are ready. He cancels the hatchery in the south. Zealots in the north go in. Southern army needs to push forward. If he can snipe this hatchery, he can punish SERRAL. SERRAL, though, trying to gather up the Ravagerling Bane. He's got to be careful. The Vipers are here. The Vipers are going to have energy very soon. ASTREA needs to either go right now or he needs to run away and go Templar Archives. He's got the Templar Archives on the way. Overseer sees it. He knows that's not ready. SERRAL, the moment those Colossus come on creep, he's going to abduct them, but wisely, ASTREA backs away. This Prism, though, will be going down. That's the first order of business for the Vipers, I think. Is it, though? He's going to try and deny the gold minerals from behind. Still on 3-base mining is SERRAL. SERRAL on 3-base mining on only 4 gases. SERRAL is screwed right now, guys. SERRAL needs to crush this army because he's down 8 workers. He can't even keep this base up, but watch out. Here comes the Abduct. It's a pure Stalker army, which is garbage without the Colossus. And the Colossus, he abducts his Stalker. Misclick for SERRAL. Abducts his Stalker, but he does get one of the Colossus. Does he have enough energy for the others? It doesn't look like it. Good stutter step here for SERRAL. For ASTREA, sorry. But the Lings, the Roaches getting on top. Zealots trying to come forward to help out. The Banelings getting some decent hits. The Colossus do manage to survive. Zealots drop from the other side and take out the drones. Great catch there with the Zealots, but the drones pull away because SERRAL is bloody fast at StarCraft, isn't he? Where's the Warp Prism? Looks like the Warp Prism did go down. I'm not sure if it died with the Zealots in it or not, guys. Maybe that Spore Crawler has a kill. Maybe the Spore killed it. Not quite sure. Still got Zealots available in the north. Archons and, of course, High Templar in the south. Storm coming in as well. Second Forge finally going down. It's a little bit late for that. Now, there's very little creep control for SERRAL. SERRAL does look pretty dead. ASTREA, though, he's got High Templar. He needs to keep pushing, keep SERRAL in his corner. SERRAL is still not mining gases up here. Still not mining gases here. Yes, you might think, well, that's fine. He's building Ling Bane. It's not that gas heavy. I mean, he's building Ling Bane against Colossus, Storm, Archon, guys. Once again, what was the example we gave earlier? It's like cavalry charging into modern tanks. Yeah, that's Ling Bane. I mean, the Vipers, the Roach Ravager can help if you can pick off the Colossus, but if these feedbacks land on these Vipers, you are in big doo-doo. It's all about the feedbacks. Look at the Vipers trying to stay out of range. He's trying to get rid of those High Templar. Storm's not quite ready. Storm's just seconds away. SERRAL finds the timing just before Storm's ready. Feedbacks go down. Feedbacks do land. Storm's ready, but the High Templar almost all dying. He lands a single Storm. Good defense for ASTREA. Loses 9 probes, but that could have been much worse. That was beautiful play on both sides. The way those Vipers were just staying out of range until the Banelings killed the High Templar. They came in, and ASTREA barely got those feedbacks off. Those High Templar were like pulling back, pushing forward, pulling back, pushing forward. Zealots in the north as well. But I think the Zealots are going in a bit naked on their own. SERRAL is so good at cleaning up these sorts of attacks. He's got +2 Adrenal Zerglings. Look at that. Efficiency for SERRAL. SERRAL's already traded over 1,000 resources more efficient right now. ASTREA is going to go for a bit of a ballsy attack. There's only 1 Viper left. It's not got energy, though. That's a problem. It's about to get a single Abduct, and that's it. I'd actually love to see ASTREA continue to build Colossus in this game, because I do feel like as long as you have Colossus, the Ling Bane's going to really suffer. They're 9 range, 25 kills on that Colossus, 15 on that kill is going to be a problem. But look at this. He's moving forward. ASTREA's not watching. ASTREA's not watching. He's on move command. He's on move command. He moves in, loses 2 High Templar to Banelings. This is a problem. The Storms are here, but that's an awkward position to get caught out in. He's got 1 last Storm. That Storm in the corner is lovely. Ling Roach on that top side. Gateway finally goes down after all of the damage it's done this game. And oh, hero. It's a hero moment. ASTREA always respects players out there like Hero, like Max Pax. He says, I always look up to these guys and try to copy them. I don't think about what they do. I just do what they do, and I hope it'll work. Just kidding. He's never said that. He's much smarter than that. Archons are down here with the cannon battery. He's going to try and defend the Archon, plus the batteries might actually be able to hold on at least momentarily. He's trying to get back to the front of the Colossus. He should not lose this base. Really good defense of the counterattack. He didn't lose any probes. He only lost 2 probes here, and it's all on the front. None from the back. The probes are dying, though. The probes did not run away. He's going to lose the whole mineral line. That's a devastating push. Great push. SERRAL's in the natural as well. Lings and Roaches coming in. He's going to need a few more Warpins to deal with it. SERRAL right now using his multitasking. Stalkers did deny the gold-based mining, but he loses all 4 Stalkers there. Roaches are in. The Cannon and the Zealots, I think, can deal with that. Maybe needs 1 or 2 more Zealots to warp in. We'll see how he goes. Roaches trying to take down that Cannon. He will need a few more Zealot warp-ins, otherwise those Roaches will win this fight. There we go. Zealots are going to clean it up. He's behind the gold base once again. Remember, there's still 1 cheeky Viper out there, guys. If he can abduct those Colossus, this could be a massive move, potentially a game-ending move. Up 40 army supply right now. SERRAL fighting his way back into this game. He's going to catch the High Templar. Storms do land, as do a feedback, but he's lost the High Templar. Colossus Archon Immortal trying to start a step back. The Ravager Ling Bane on top. The Colossus, it's done so much. That Colossus, the Colossus goes down. This other one alive, still with 36 kills, but the Immortals do get surrounded. The Immortals shredding the Roaches. The Zealots come in as well. Wow. Wow, 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 wow. That fight started so good for SERRAL, but it ended so good for ASTREA. He's still got a Stalker behind the gold as well, but I think he's got a reprobe because, oh my god, Baneling run by. He does run a few of his probes away. He's going to lose only a few probes there. Remember, most of these probe kills were from earlier on in this game. Still at 62 workers, and ASTREA is transitioning, or transferring, I should say, to that 4th base. Is he going to take the gold? I think the gold would be the best bet for ASTREA right now. He could go bottom right and push up here, but it's going to be tough for him. He's got 3 High Templar, 5 Immortals, 1 Colossus. He's got a very fancy army. Right now, SERRAL has mobility, but he's on a garbage tier army. Ravager, Ling Bane, no Vipers out. Terrible army, only 58 workers. SERRAL has no creep spread. SERRAL's got this base up with the gas. He's got no gas there, no gas there. He's still on barely any gas, which means he's on mostly a Zergling army. Storm and Colossus should counter this army. It's a testament to SERRAL's ability to engage that he has not been getting ravaged. The fact that SERRAL is trading better than ASTREA with a mostly Ling Bane 4-gas army. That's right, he's even pulled off gas in his main. He's been on 4 gases for most of this game. It's Massling Bane, and he is beating Astrea's Colossus, Archon, High Templar army. And he gets a kill on the Nexus, not even a cancel. Southside Ling's run in there as well. 9 probes just went down. Dude, Ling Bane's rolling in from all sides. ASTREA's struggling to deal with this. He's got 2 observers out there. His gold base not building. SERRAL right now using raw multitasking and desperation. ASTREA needs to stay in control. He needs to just split his army, half on the right, half on the left, and rebuild this gold. If he can defend the gold base, I think he's got this game in the bank because SERRAL is so all in right now. It's just Roaches, Zerglings, and Ravagers. But ASTREA has no vision. ASTREA, he's got to be careful. Here comes the army. Nice storm to start things off, and he dodges the Biles. But on that top side, Lings come in again. He has a Zealot in the wall, but that does not look like it's on hold position. It is on hold position. Good defense. A few more Zealots will warp in. Those +3 Adrenal Zerglings, of course, doing crazy damage. But we're going to just need to see that army split. If he doesn't split the army, ASTREA could get caught out by SERRAL, especially with 2 more Vipers coming in, and the lack of the 4th base is really hurting him. SERRAL's maxed out on a garbage tier army, but he is maxed out. And at 50-60 army supply lead means it's a very scary moment in the game. So don't get me wrong, I'll take ASTREA's army over SERRAL's any day of the week, but the fact that SERRAL has a full base, like all these minerals to mine from, and now he can slowly put back on gas. He's back on gases in his main natural. He's got this gas, so he's on 5 gases mining. I actually feel like he's got such mineral income available that he could do it. Now, ASTREA's going to push the gold base, but he's not trying to defend his own new base, which is not a bad call, I gotta say. Zerglings will try to push in. Immortal easily defends that. He's going for the feedback on the Vipers, guys. He's looking for the feedback on the Vipers. Prism goes forward. Oh, he actually does a Storm Drop. Very cute. And he's going to go for... Oh, he does another Storm, doesn't get the feedback on the second Viper. Loses the Prism and the High Templar, gets some good Storms, denies the base, but he's got to be careful about getting surrounded. This used to have a ramp on the PTR version of this map, but it's been taken away. 12 more probes go down. 2 Zerglings in that southern base. He needs to build a cannon. If he have F2s, those Lings will unburrow and ruin his mining. Down to 44 probes, ASTREA's all in. This army needs to win the game. It's all about Vipers. If you can't abduct that 60 kill Colossus, if you can't abduct some of these units, you're going to struggle. SERRAL's trying to come in with a big spready. Baneling's coming in as well. Good pull away here. Blinding Cloud does go down, but it misses the army entirely. The Storms are pretty good. The Baneling's rolling on top, trying to spread backwards. That Colossus, 73 kills. The Immortal Archon trying to pull back. There's so much Roach Ravager. Oh my lord, SERRAL, has he actually done it? It's a 75 kill Colossus as it goes down. I can't believe it. SERRAL fights back from behind and manages to do it. Zealots were cleaning up the gold. Guys, I guarantee you, when you are pulling off gas 13, 14 minutes into a game as SERRAL on your main and natural, like, look at this situation. Let me find where he pulls off gas. I want you guys to understand how desperate this feels for SERRAL when he pulled off gas here. Like, there is desperation, and then there is SERRAL in this game pulling off all of his gases, as this game just got so hectic. Let's find that moment. Yeah, at 14 minutes into this game, 58 workers. He's like, I am so desperate. I just need more minerals to make more stuff. And he's got 2 workers on gas there, 1 there, 1 there, 1 there, 1 there. Pulls off gas. Is on just 58 workers against a 4 going on 5 base Protoss. It's such a scary situation, but one has to give testament. This game was all about the engagements. This map does have some big wide open areas, and he just did such an excellent job of spreading out, flanking, and out-trading a Protoss army that was meant to do better than his. His Ling Bane with a pack of Roach Ravager, just 1 or 2 Vipers, traded so well, and he really found ways to make this work in his favor, despite just being stuck with a mobility and a very fragile army. Impressive comeback for SERRAL. Hats off to ASTREA for making it as competitive, as close, as hard fought as it had to be. But SERRAL, he's still got those chops to adapt. I guarantee you, if he was on stream, he was saying, I'm dead. Oh my god, I'm dead. Oh my god, I can't believe I'm losing this game. I'm so dead. I'm so screwed. There's no way to win. He would have 100% had that running commentary in his brain this whole time. But that's the power of SERRAL. He finds a way to win anyway. GG. Well played.